Hey guys, it's Justin Goodbread here in the Financially Simple Studios. So, as you know, for the last few weeks, we've been dealing with Ask Justin questions on Thursday, and I have a ton of questions. But I want to wrap up this little short mini series I've been dealing with on Shark Tank. So, a couple of weeks ago, I had a client of mine who said, "Justin, my daughter and I were watching Shark Tank." And she was asking me questions about why the sharks are doing this, that, and the other. And can you give me some insight? So he and I chatted for a little bit, and I was like, let's deal with that as the first Ask Justin question, just to get the series off the ground. So for the last 4 weeks on Thursdays at 4:30, we've been dealing with Ask Justin. And to get the show going on this weekly show, I wanted to answer his daughter's questions. And so I've been dealing with some of those these last 4 weeks. And so today I want to finish it up with one of the last things I want to deal with on the Shark Tank. And the reason why I want to finish up now is because I have a ton of questions that are coming in. I just today received 4 questions from individuals on financial related matters. So going forward, I hope to be able to answer these financial questions on our Thursday Ask Justin day. And then on Friday at 4:30 in the afternoons, we're still dealing with Stump Justin. And so those are the hard questions. I actually received one from myself. We'll talk about tomorrow that I stumped myself a little bit. I actually shot a video about it, and I'm going to let you know where I'm at on my own Stump Justin question. I'm still a little perplexed, but I want you to understand where we're at in that. So today I want to deal with this last question on Shark Tank. So I've watched a lot of Shark Tank here recently doing this episode, and I got to be honest with you, I've watched too much TV. I'm not a TV person. It's not who I am. I'd rather read a book. As some of you know, if you receive our newsletter, the Financially Simple newsletter, the last little bit the team has been putting the book I'm reading that week. I try to read a book a week. I just do. I've been doing it forever. And so last week we were dealing with the things that your CPA doesn't tell you. I've got one coming up this week that I'm on with exit planning, talking about a roadmap to get out of business. Someone had sent me. I was like, that'd be kind of a cool read. Should be a fast read for me. So I like to read. I'm not a TV person. Hey, by the way, in that newsletter, you got to sign up for it. There's a ton of people getting the newsletter now, and it's growing super fast. I'm finding out that the newsletter is rocking. It's got some very quick bullet points that help you just get some insight on some things, just from a business planning perspective, personal finance, etc. But anyways, been watching some TV, and I was watching Shark Tank the other night. It was late, and I was thinking about this show today. I was like, man, I got to wrap up Shark Tank. I'm tired of watching Shark Tank on TV. I'm a little saturated right now with it. But I was watching it. I came across this YouTube video that was a mantra, and it had the best of. And then I Googled the best of Shark Tank in YouTube, and there were tons of them. So I started watching a couple of them. So I'm not going to put a particular link in this particular episode. You can go out there and do the best of Shark Tank. But one thing happened this week that I think is important, and I can tie it to Shark Tank to kind of drive home a point for us business owners when it comes to finances and business. I was noticing on some of the best of that whenever the individuals, whenever the business owner came into the Shark Tank to pitch the sharks about investing in their business, oftentimes, I would say oftentimes, many times, the sharks would make an immediate offer, quick. And that got me thinking, are the business owners pricing their business too low? You see, it's common that business owners think that their business value is here when in fact it's down here. That's common. But the majority of times, business owners will value their business higher than it actually is. And I'm dealt with a series of that on the podcast. I think we're up to episode 92, 93 that's going to be released, dealing with how the value is calculated in a business. So many times business owners will think our business is worth a lot more than it actually is. But sometimes you actually have a gold mine and you don't realize it. Case in point, I had a friend of mine call me this week, and I can't get into too much details because of knowledge involved in this particular issue. But he called me and said, Justin, I have been approached by an angel investor. So an angel investor is somebody who invests in a business in its infancy, whether it's just started up or whether it's just gaining traction. Okay. So you have angel investors, which go in on the infancy of a business right in the first year or so. Then you have venture capitalists, and that's kind of like the Shark Tank world. They'll come in and put some money into it for an equity share. Angel investors are a little different. They want to throw money into it and watch the business skyrocket and then get out. There's a lot of angel investments in the technology place right now. Silicon Valley is just extremely popular because of how fast technology is moving. You can create something, it can shoot up in value, and then a Facebook or an Amazon or a Google buy it up because that technology is cutting edge. And so that's called it's called angel investing. So it shoots up real fast in value. Well, an angel investor actually reached out to a friend of mine and said, we want to buy your business or buy into your business. He called me and said, hey man, a little bit of, I call it laundry. All of us got to have laundry in our bags. But he said, man, I got a little laundry back here behind me. I got some things that just don't smell good behind me. Went through life. I said, man, there's not a person I know that's over the age of 30 that hasn't lived through life, whether it's personal, financial, family, whatever. We all go through it. And he's like, yeah, I went through it, man. Like, I get that. And he said, but they want me to give a business value. I was like, okay, well, hire a business appraiser. He goes, I can't afford it. I'm like, dude, you cannot afford it. You better hire a business appraiser who can give you a good, solid valuation on your company. And he goes, well, I bought this little program for $100. I'm doing my own valuation of my business. I went, why? Because, well, it's cheap. I'm like, then you're going to get a cheap offer. He wouldn't listen to me, but he kept talking. I'm listening to him. He's like, well, can you give me some guidance? Now, I don't give free advice, folks. I just don't. Maybe to my mama. Hi, Mom. Maybe to my brother. What's up, bud? Maybe my sister and my in-laws. But I don't give a lot of free advice out. The reason why is because I have 20-something years of investment knowledge and business knowledge and all this research I do, and all I have is my brain. So I don't give a lot of free advice out. So he's like, man, can you give me some guidance? I said, well, I don't give free advice out. I have people who pay me for my knowledge. So I don't do that, but you're welcome to listen to the podcast. He's like, I don't have time to listen to that. I said, well, then you need to hire somebody, man. So I was just listening to him ramble, and he made a statement. He said, Justin, I have a contract with a buyer already in place where they're going to purchase this many widgets. I'm going to call it a widget. This many widgets of this particular product. And I have a patent, remember Shark Tank number 1 that I did, a patent on this particular process and product. And it's a 10-year contract, and they'll move this much material, and it's in writing. And I got super quiet, and I said, brother, how much did you say you were pricing this business out at? And he named the number. I went, I can tell you right now that you're fixing to hurt yourself, man. The value of your company is far greater than you think. Well, how much is it worth? I said, time out. Nope. You didn't ask me for that. You can pay me. I mean, I can walk you through this. I got people who do that. I got a waiting list of people who want to work with me. I said, but man, you need to get a professional involved because you're fixing to hurt yourself. I watched Shark Tank, that series, that mantra of all these montages, these people walking into Shark Tank saying, I want to get $100,000 for 10% of my business. And the shark's like, yeah, let's go. Because the pricing was too low. The pricing was too low. So I make the statement of this, and you've heard the old saying, penny wise, but pound foolish. Guys, there's a time whenever a professional is worth it. There is a time. Knowledge is important. We all need to have knowledge, but wisdom is knowledge applied. You cannot go into an industry as difficult as finance, especially as appraisers, and especially as difficult as the angel investments. You cannot go into that on a Google search. You can't. There's too many things that Google give out as misinformation. There's too much information out there that can cause you to lose dollars and leave money on the table. And so many times on the Shark Tank show, I'm watching business owners walk into the Shark Tank using textbook MBA calculations. A lot of times they'll say I'm MBA from so-and-so, which the sharks start smiling because most MBAs don't know how to run a business, at least in my experience. And so those of you who are MBAs, go ahead and send me some hate mail. Please send me some hate mail. Shoot me a tweet at Justin at Justin Goodbread on Twitter. Say, Justin, hashtag MBA, you're wrong, I'm brilliant, etc. I would love that. Let's enter some dialogue. But most MBAs, they don't know how to run a business. I was on the phone just this last week with a dentist, 8-year educated individual who also went and earned an MBA. Okay. At the age of 28 years old is $600,000 in debt on his student loans. And now is an additional $800,000 in debt on his practice note. It's a lot of money, folks, $1.2 million in debt. And his business, because he thought he knew how to run a business, because he thought he knew how to run the valuation, he was a DIY guy, and now he's facing let me say it, he's going to file bankruptcy. There's no other way out of this because he was penny wise and pound foolish. So as you go through life in this business world, there will be a time whenever you need to hire someone. You may say, Justin, I have all the education in the world. That's great. That's great. But you will need to hire someone to give you some additional insight. I use this example often. I don't know Michael Phelps personally, but I can remember watching him on the Olympics some years back just crush the Olympic gold medal standard. I mean, just crushed it. I actually met Mark Spitz. Is that his name? Spitz, I think it is. I have a picture with my wife and I and Mark sitting there. He was the last big time gold medal winner through the swimming. But Michael Phelps crushed it. You realize Michael Phelps has multiple coaches? Multiple coaches. Now, not one of his coaches. None of his coaches can swim the exact same way that Michael can. None of them can. They actually can't even eat the same diet that he eats. He has a dietitian coach. They can't even eat the same diet, but they're there adding the information to his life that helped him achieve what he achieved. I said one time, Michael Jordan has a coach. He had a coach, the greatest basketball player, in my opinion, of all times. Go ahead and tell me why Kobe's so much better than Michael Jordan. I can handle it. I just think Jordan was better. Say hashtag Jordan best, the GOAT, as they say. Michael Jordan had a coach. He did. My point is this. Do not be penny wise, pound foolish in your business. If you are approaching the opportunity to sell your company, get a certified exit planning advisor involved ASAP. You're going to say, Justin, I can't afford it. Look, friend, you cannot afford not to do it. You've got to have a certified exit planning advisor involved. You say, Justin, I'm of the position that I want to grow my company. Great. Get a certified value growth advisor involved. Get a CVGA involved. You're like, Justin, I can't afford it. I'm going to say, friend, you can't afford not to. You're like, Justin, I want to build my net worth. Great. Get a certified financial planner involved. Justin, I can't afford to. Friend, you can't afford not to. You say, but Justin, I can go online and Google. Man, I can go online and Google how to replace the motor in my Nissan Verano, which I don't want to do it. Number one. Number two, it's not going to run right. I am not mechanically inclined when it comes to cars. I have a hard time with that. I'm not going to do it, but I know how to hire a mechanic who does, and a mechanic who can get done faster, quicker, cheaper. Even though it's going to cost me some money, it'll yield the better results. So my last thing on the Shark Tank series is this: answering my client's little girl's question, and they're watching these things. So I go and say, hey guys, whenever we come into life that we have to make pivotal decisions or we need to make mundane decisions, it's almost always in our best interest. It's almost always more advantageous for us to hire the professional who deals with it on a consistent basis, almost always. Like, Justin, it's going to cost me some money. Yeah, it will. But more than likely, the professional is going to yield the results which will cover their cost if they're good at their job. I go back to my buddy this week and I said, man, you really need to hire me. Justin, I can't afford you. And I said, you can't afford not to, man. We've been talking a little bit more, and I pointed out 3 different things. I said, you can't go what you just did. If you go this way, this is what they're going to do. What should I do? I said, nope, I'm not giving you advice. I told you, you gotta hire me. I don't give out free advice. He said, come on, man, I'm a buddy. I said, there's an old saying that I used to hear from one of my friends. He said, no good deed goes unpunished. He started laughing with me. He said, Justin, I hear you, but I need help. I said, then you need to pay me. There's so much that we deal with in business, friends. Shark Tank is a primary example. You can watch that show, and in every episode, you can learn something about business. You can see where we overprice things, underprice things, become too confident, don't have enough confidence. We view our product as being stellar, but actually it isn't. We view our product as being okie dokie, as one of my grandma used to say, but it's not okie dokie. Okay, it's really stellar. We just don't see the potential of it. We get tired. We get overly excited. We want to charge hell with a water pistol. We want to do all these things as business owners. And candidly, we should try to achieve all those things. But in business, one of the things we should always do is pay. We should pay those professionals who can help us achieve our goals in the quickest, most time-efficient method possible. And you're like, Justin, are you paying somebody? Yeah, I am. I'm paying lots of money for lots of people to do things that I don't know how to do. No, can I learn them? Yeah, I don't think I'm a dumb guy. I could learn them, but I don't want to learn them. I have better talents I can use elsewhere. So I pay a lot of money to a lot of people who can do things in my practice and my business that I could do. I could research it out, but they have a vast amount of knowledge, a vast amount of wisdom, a vast amount of education that I don't have the time to learn in my business model. So my challenge to you is this, dealing with this last episode on Shark Tank. Are you pricing your business too low? My message in that is this, is now the time to hire the advisors for you. So guys, I'm going to leave it with that on this particular episode. Like I say every week, life is hard, life is good, life is fun. Life is frustrating. It doesn't have to be. Let's continue to make our lives at least financially simple. Hey, y'all go out and create a great day.